All right, we are in. It's
Awesome.
been started as
Thanks.
of right now. Srita, you wanted your folks to introduce themselves?
No, that would take a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, because we already wasted a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we want to get this thing going. Thank
Okay.
you. Though.
Azim, we got some background noise, so I think we need to mute everybody and just have you speak.
Okay, and okay, I think someone, yeah, whoever's trying to mute, that's muting me also. So you guys can't hear me talk. Shall we get going, Brent? Is Debbie here yet?
Still getting some major background here. I'm not sure who's sharing their screen.
I do not hear at all anything. My side is all clear.
Is anybody else hearing the background feedback?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Just you, Brent, just you. All right, Debbie, shall we get going? I think we lost
Absolutely.
5 minutes.
Absolutely. And thank you for saving this, since I obviously confused people with our instructions. So thank you very much.
All right. So let's get going. The intent of this was to walk you guys over to what is GED analytics, how you can see, how many students you have tested and all that good information. Okay. So we start with GED Manager. There is no separate login for GED Analytics. You just need to log into your GED Manager. This is me, my demo account. So I'm going to log in and boom, I'm in GED Manager. Okay. I created myself as a California viewer. We'll talk about it, what that means. But I'm a California personnel and logged into GED Manager. Depending on my access, I'm right now a jurisdictional viewer. So when I go into my GED Manager side, which is that, it'll show me all the California students. But this session is about reporting. So I'm going to go there. You guys should see, based on your access, a PASA report that's in GED Manager, student activity report, and GED Analytics right there. So the intent again of our call is about this. So simply log into GED Manager and click on reporting and then click GED Analytics. That'll automatically connect us to a reporting tool called GED Analytics. Fingers crossed, it should work. Come on, come on. Yep, there it is. Looks like a little bit slow. Now, it's not normally this slow, but yep, it's spinning a little bit for some reason. But we should be in. There it is. That's GED Analytics. All right, so you'll notice a couple of tabs, as we call it. Okay, there's a test summary tab, test taker summary tab, performance summary tab, demographics, and appointment. Okay, and you'll notice that this is California, like I said, and by default, it's always like last quarter. You can always change that date to your need. And it's as easy as if it's you want to change it by year, then you can click that little calendar and then say I want to see 2021 only, and then that'll automatically change to start date January to end date December of 2021. If you're looking just for a couple of months, then you'll want to come into start date and plug in the date you want. And a whole bunch of filters here. If you want to filter these metrics by student age, you can do so. By gender, you can do so. So there are a whole bunch of widely used, let's say, filters that the other jurisdictions also use. You're interested on your your inmates, then you can use that filter. Okay, you're interested in test center, you can do that. We'll go more into a couple more details on how to filter that to your test center need. But going back to the viewer access, when we talk about GED analytics, there are two different access levels. You all have an access called viewer. You can see how many tests were taken. You can see how many test takers are, but there are no details about those test takers that you're able to see. That level of access is in a different role called Explorer. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we go forward and move forward with this session. So going back to the test summary tab, you can always, in here, you can make any of these tab your default tab, meaning when you log into GED Manager and when you land on this GED Analytics, instead of always landing in test summary, performance summary probably is your favorite and you want to land here automatically. And you can do so by going into here, view original, and then make this your performance summary, your default tab. It's as easy as that. So going back into the test summary tab, as the tab name implies, this includes all the metrics about testing level activity. Okay. We are in October 2021 through to December 20, those 3 months is our date range. And we have no filters on at this time. So what this 10,119 is telling me is these many tests were taken in this period. These many GED ready tests were taken in this period in these last 3 months. And 8% of those tests have acquired college ready score, which is, I believe, 165 to 70, I believe. And then 2% of these tests acquired ready plus credit score, which is 175 to 200. Okay. Then we land into these other 3 tabs. When we started doing the online exam, we built these 3 tabs. What this is doing is, by default, these tests are all tests as in these are the tests taken online and at test center. If you want to filter or narrow this down 10,119 to only online proctored test, you can just click on that and that should refresh. This is showing me that 2429 tests taken in this period, in this date range, are online exams. We just lift that and then we go back to meeting, just click on all tests and that'll show you all the tests again. If you want to know how many of these tests were taken physically at a test center, you click on the test center button and that'll refresh the count. Okay. And then on this screen, let me scroll down a little bit. The same counts are visually shown in a chart. The green is showing that it's an online proctored exam, this line at the bottom. And then these are GED ready and GED tests bi-weekly. Scroll down a little bit and the same metrics again by monthly, by each module. This is showing me that 28% of the exams, taken monthly in October. I believe we can increase that or lower that level as needed to weekly and, further down into October, weekly. Okay. So that's the information in test summary. Moving down to text taker summary.
Azim,
Yeah.
I'm watching questions that are coming up, and as I expected, their initial look is, let's go back again over the very basics of how they got to how you got to where you are. And it came actually from the sign on of looking at either Explorer or, some are saying my screen doesn't look like that.
So you want me to log off and log in again from GED Manager?
I think so. I think that would be helpful.
Okay,
So
sure.
that and you did say that they have different levels of permission, and I think that's something that they need to be aware of. And I did put in there that the access they have is determined by Sarita and her colleagues, and we provide the access that they are approved through by the by the OCE. So
Yeah.
I think that moved a little too fast for some who aren't comfortable moving around in it.
Okay. So
Okay.
let me clarify there. Irrespective of what level of access you have, you should see the same screen that I was just sharing with you, if that helps you at all. Okay. So how do you log in? You log into GED Manager, and then you should see those tabs. And to get to analytics, you're going to click on reporting and GED Analytics. And it automatically connects. You do not need a separate login user ID or password.
And as it's churning to get there, you might show them how they can modify. You're showing the general, and this is for the state of California, and that's why they're seeing online proctor testing, which they don't do in the prisons. But kind of walk them through, it's a California jurisdiction, and then if they want to know about their specific test center, point to where they go in for that, and
This is
how
not-
they narrow the scope.
We need
This
to
is
back up. Yeah, this is not what our page looks like when we open it up. No. So it's the first screen that we get has a folder, and on the left-hand side, there are tabs that say Home, Explore, Favorites, Recent, Shared with Me, and Recommendations. So I believe you have to click on Home, and then on the folder, you have to click on New. Is that correct?
Is this where you are?
I think she just went to your format. She found the thing that had on the left-hand side. She clicked on home. Can you see that on the screen?
That is not what ours looks like.
Okay.
Jessica Ramsey did a screenshot in the chat.
Let's see. I do see it, and that is what she just displayed.
Explore jurisdiction. Okay, no worries. Let me go back to my screen. This is where you are.
Jurisdiction.
Huh? Yeah, click
Yep,
on
click
that.
on external.
Yep, click on
Because
that.
of how we have to organize this for internal folks and external folks,
You saw a
you're
little
going to
different.
see a
You saw
jurisdiction.
more choices. Yeah, yeah.
Click
You
on
don't
that
see all the
folder.
choices we have that Azim has.
Yep. So for those of you who are seeing that jurisdiction folder, it's a one-time thing we have to do and get you where I was when I was demoing. So click on that jurisdiction folder. And then hopefully you land on here.
Okay, Azim, we'll go from there. Thank you. Okay.
Yep, keep clicking on that external. And then again, this is only one time. Keep clicking on whatever you land on, jurisdiction. And then there must be two options you see. Click on GED Analytics. Again, one more time, GED Analytics. And then, like I said, what tab do you like? click on that tab. And then you should be able to, so if I like performance summary a lot, I would click on performance summary, meaning every time I log into GED Manager, I'm going to land on performance summary. And it's a one time you have to do, you will not have to do it again. Okay, hopefully you all see what I am seeing. So this is where you all need to be in any of the tabs, but this is where you all need to be. Okay.
She just had a different way of getting you to the same position. Because you see all of the tabs are still across the top. In the previous slide, they were listed individually for you to click on.
All right, so again, going back to the roles, irrespective of what role you have, viewer or explorer, you all, I know, have viewer access. You all should see California, same number of counts, whether irrespective of what test center you're at, okay, what corrections, facility you administer test at, you should see this, okay? Now, when you want to look for your specific test center testing activity, you'll want to come to this filter, okay? Uncheck everything, and then look for your test center. I don't know, let's try ABC. Okay, ABC Adult School. I'm interested to see only what I tested at ABC Adult School. So remember, come here, uncheck everything, look for your test center, meaning start typing your test center name, and then click apply. Select or click the checkbox and click apply, and watch how these counts refresh. What is that telling us? October 1st to end of December, in ABC Adult School, tested 240 exams. Okay, you guys do not have clearly OP exams, so notice there's no OP line here, nor you'll get anything when you click OP Online Proctor. You probably get 0 here. Okay, all these tests taken are at test center. All right, moving on to the test taker summary. Here are a little bit more details about now at the test taker level, like the tab name implies. Now we are going to look at who these 240 tests were taken by. These are 120 test takers. Remember, we still have that filter on that we had on test summary tab. So we are still looking at the ABC Adult School data for these 3 months. You can always change that to your needs. You can look at a yearly data, 6 months data, but you need to come up here and change that date. But for now, we are looking October to December. This is telling me 32 students created new profiles in this period. 120 test takers attempted to take the test, and 61 of them completed. Who are completers? Completers are those people or those students who have taken all 4 exams, but may not necessarily have passed. How many have passed? 37 has passed. You do the math, 61 minus 37. We have about 40 some people or 30 some people who have taken all 4 exams but not passed. Out of 61, only 37 have passed. Okay. Similarly, there are a whole bunch of other metrics to your needs. You can look at, who are the first time test takers, who have repeated the same subject multiple times, who completed, first time, what is the pass rate, what is the national pass rate. This is telling me California pass rate is 61%, nationally 65%. Okay. More metrics down here. How many students have passed math at individual subject level is what this is showing us. How many have not passed? How many have not attempted yet? Whether it's social science or RLA. Just a visual of, the weekly trending. October, there's a peak and then went down this week, October 17th, and then went back up. Adult Ed program list. How many students have contacted? You have the ability to click that and, sort it. ABC Adult School, again at the top, or actually we are already in ABC Adult School. We have the filter up here. You can lift that filter if you're looking at the California level, the entire state level, then it'll show you how many students have been contacted, have contacted the prep centers. How many of them have credentialed at these prep centers? You can filter and sort to your needs. Test taker and completers by zip code. A zip code, postal code might be of importance to you. You can look for that postal code and see how many have passed, how many have, still testing or still completing. You should be able to download these reports from here. Funnel chart is most favorite of for all the other jurisdictions. At a high level, what this is showing is at this ABC test center adult ed, 120 test takers have taken the test, 61 have completed the test, 37 have passed all 4 exams. Now keep an eye on these metrics, 120, 61, and 37. This should match with our 120, 61, and 37. So this is just like, at number level, this is at a visual level. That's all the difference is, but this is most widely used by most jurisdictions. All right, performance summary. There are more details in this about the same students, but just different way of looking at their data, depending on your need. So let's quickly get there. All right, again, notice same filters. Oh, I forgot to mention about these 2 links here. There's a user guide and frequently asked questions. Real good information for those of you who are just starting and don't know where to start or how to navigate through. You can click on that and that'll take you to the user guide PDF. And there's a YouTube here that might help you if you're the first time navigating. We recently enhanced the date filter, so you can click on that link and use this user guide as needed. Similarly, there's frequently asked questions as well that you can click and then use to your needs. Again, same number of filters, same date filter here. You should only see California, nothing else but California. And again, we still have the test center filter here. So these metrics is showing only about the ABC test center or adult ed center. Again, showing test center tested takers, 120 tests taken by these 120 students in this time range is 240 students. College ready 15% and 4% college ready plus credit. There's some real good information at the bottom. So I'll scroll down here again to your need. You can use this information. Test volume table is there. Test taker performance is there. This is good information to see how many of the students have taken math and passed, below passing or past 67%, and below passing are 33%. We all know that most of our students fail in math. So that is accurate with what I am seeing here. Less and less students fail social studies. The most difficult is math for them. Then the next one is RLA. So that's consistent with our analysis. Let's scroll down to test center comparison. If I did not have the ABC adult ed filter up there, maybe let's go ahead and yeah, if I did not, once you take the filter out, you should see the other test centers down here. And you can see how your test centers are performing, to compare and see who's at the top or what the top 10 test centers are who are where the students are taking more tests, and all that good information is here. This is just a visual of, how the two students are performing on each subject. This is just showing that 45% of our students are scoring in this score range, 140, and about 25% of our students have scored 150 in their operational exam. Similarly, this is showing that RLA, 29%, about 30% of our students have scored 140, and 30% have scored 150. Similarly, the other two subjects. Again, this is another good table. If I did not have the ABC table, adult ed filter up there, this will show the other test centers and how those students have scored testing at those test centers. At ABC, at least, this is how those students have performed. We had, what, 120 tests or 240 tests. So what this table is showing is at ABC Adult Ed, those students who tested, they scored 148 average in math, 150 average in RLA, 155 in science, and so on. Okay. Again, this is, maybe I should just unfilter it so you guys see how cool those tables at the bottom are. Again, now we are, yeah.
While you're doing that, we have a question, and I think I know the answer, but I know you will know the answer. In the test takers tab, does it count students more than once when they take the same test more than once?
No.
Or is it? I didn't think so. That is telling you, here's the number of students, not how many tests they took, but
Yeah.
these are the number of students. Okay.
Yeah, you
Gotcha.
can look, there's a metric called repeat test taker. That'll show you how many students have repeated a same exam.
Thank you.
Yep. And here it is. I lifted the ABC Adult Ed School filter, and you can see how these tables refreshed. Of course, our OP testing, which is, we know, is not done in your correctional facilities, but more and more exams are being taken OP, but Chula Vista seems to be at the top. So 318 tests were taken, and remember, we have the date range up there of October, November, December of last year. So 318 tests taken in Chula Vista for that period, for that 3 months. Next is DOC California Marie Romero. Then next is ABC Adult School, and so on. All right, we have 10 minutes left. Demographics tab or summary tab is another most widely used for those who are wanting to now know more about their test takers. Who are these test takers? What's their race and ethnicity? What's their age group? What's their gender? You want to know those details? You want to come to demographic summary tab. Again, same metric, same filters are there. Date range is there. We don't have any filters up here, so these metrics that you're showing at the bottom are at California level, whether they have taken online, at a test center. These are the demographic information of those students, or of everyone at California level. Okay. Again, we selected these. These are the questions that inmate or student answers when they are registering to GED.com, where they tested, GED, where did they go to prepare GED? 45% of our students are saying they went to an adult school. Highest grade completed. This is the question we ask anyone or our students when they register to GED.com. And this is what they're saying. 28% of them are saying that they completed 12th exam. Don't remember, 10% saying they don't remember. So some interesting data there. Similarly, what is the testing reason? 38% of our students are saying because of educational gain. personal gain, employment, and so on. Okay, pretty good information here. You can simply download it, and it will download. Let's do that quickly. You want to get that in a PDF. You just come there and then click and then download, and then it will download the PDF for you that you can share with anyone in an email or forward it to anyone who doesn't have access to GED Manager or GED Analytics. Appointment summary. I don't know if we get much of the information here, but there are some metrics we do have there, like how many students have created the accounts, how many have scheduled, how many have canceled, rescheduled, how many no-showed, scheduled the exam and did not show. So that information is available there. This is a good visual of how many students have reached out to the call center, which you can see is very tiny amount of like 2 or 3% maybe. Very few people call the call center to schedule, otherwise mostly they just do it online, and a few percentage of like 20-30% reach out to test center to schedule their exam. But mostly our students go to GED.com to schedule their exams. All right, I think that is all I have. The other 3 tabs, I think Debbie can take these on, but for a viewer, these doesn't apply. For you guys, when you click on these, it'll be blank or empty. There's nothing there because that's where that role comes into play that I was talking about, whether you're a viewer or explorer, and most of you are viewers, so you should not see anything in these 3 tabs.
And Azim, you're exactly right. That is one of the most important questions they're asking. And so for those who aren't reading the chat, I will tell you, Azim, Brent, and I spoke yesterday because I think what you probably are most interested in is being able to drill down to the individual names in GED Analytics. We know that you can look up the same individuals in GED Manager, but it's a more time-consuming process, and I understand that. But as Azim says, we have levels of permission, and the highest level of permission is Explorer level, and those people can see who's passed 3 out of 4 modules in the individual test, and they can see who's the candidate drill down, the names of the people who have tested. And my memory, what's the last tab when you took your screen away? For test drill down, what tests have been taken. Our conversation internally yesterday was that we need to have a discussion with Sarita and with our colleagues at the CDE, because we only have so many licenses that will allow you to have that view. If the CDE is willing to work with us to determine a limited number of licenses so that within each region, perhaps 1 or 2 people at the regional level could pull those reports, we will go to the CDE and request permission for that. But it's a discussion we want to have with OCE before we go to the CDE. I can tell you that Explorer is not a license or a view that's given out readily. And that's why we think if we probably approach with a couple at the regional level, that we can probably get that type of approval, so that you'd have 2 point persons at a regional level. When you need that drill down, it can happen. Until then, some of you already know you can call me, or Sarita will call me and request that particular report, and I can pull it in a short amount of time. So I think that's our work that we have before us. And with that point, I will ask Azim, number 1, thank you, Azim. My sincere apologies to all of you for not having this clear and able for us to screen in time. And I want to make sure Brent and Azim have a chance to close out. And I want to ask Sarita to make any comments. And then we'll take a few questions from you. We want to be respectful of your time. We have the time. Some of you may not, but we're here to answer your questions. So Azim, thank you so much. And anything you'd like to say in closing, and then Brent.
Nothing from me. So, you guys figure out your access levels, and we are here to answer any questions you have about the session today. Reach out to us at operations@ged.com, or you always have your, fierce leader Debbie with you guys.
Technically challenged, but that's okay. I'm still with you. Okay, Brent, thank you for all your help in helping us get transferred over and make this work. So thank you.
No, that's fine. I see there was a comment here that they had access and they no longer have access. That may have, if you're not in GD Manager, you're not using it, it can go away over time. So what you have to do is reach out and ask for it to be reset again, and then we can reset your access and you'll be able to get into GD Index again.
And then for you at CDCR, you reach out to Sarita and she will reach out to us because we coordinate with Sarita to keep the list of approved people for CDCR for the different accesses. So thank you for that reminder, Brent. Sarita?
Yes, I would like to first thank you, the team. You did a great job, although we had some technical issues in the beginning, but on the whole, the presentation was wonderful. And I hope our chief examiners got what they wanted to see. They know how to navigate the system and try to get the reports what they were looking for. And as Debbie said, if you need anything from GED testing service, please reach out to me and I will forward that to Debbie because that's the way we work. Anytime a new GED chief examiner or any other teacher needs to be added on that list to get access to GED Manager, please, please, please reach out to me. Don't send your request directly to Debbie or GED operations. That takes more time because then they come back to me asking for if this is a correct request. And I had to talk to your principal if you are the right person for that role. So that takes more time. It would be better if you send the information to me and ask like if you can be approved for that, and then we move it forward. So thank you for your cooperation on this matter because I have been getting some emails from Debbie which bypassed me and went directly to Debbie or GED operations. So please keep that in mind and tell the other staff at your institution, please don't reach out to GED operations or Debbie directly. You have to go through OCE. Thank you for your participation. And I saw a lot of questions in the chat and Debbie had been answering those, some of those, right? And if you still have questions, as Azim said, she's going to be available online for a few minutes and then we go from there. So if you don't have a questions, feel free to log off. We know your time is valuable and you have so many other things to take care of. And have a great day. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, Sarita. And now if any of you want to take yourself off mute and ask us any direct questions, that would be a good time. Now the floor is open. So. Oh, I see new messages down here. Okay.
Hi, I'm Debbie. Can you
Yes.
hear me? This
Yes.
is Victoria Snow at Pelican Bay. And
Hi.
I have a question for you about if we have a student here who took some GED tests, let's say in December, but then they transferred to a different prison in January and that new testing coordinator changed the location, is that data all transferred to them or will it still be on my December report that student was my student for those tests?
Azim, is that a situation where the records are always available in GED Manager? You could look that student up. I'm not sure about in analytics, And if you have, Azim, I'll defer to you if you'd like to answer that. I think I know what it does, but these
Sure.
guys, I got the two experts on the phone, so I really need to just back out here.
Yeah. In the test summary tab, you should still see the student level data or test level data.
Okay.
But if one is looking for a student level data, so if Debbie tested, Debbie's record will not be available for you because she moved to the other facility. But you can still see that she tested at your test center.
Okay, but because I was using GED analytics last year to kind of double check our numbers, but the numbers weren't matching. And my only thought was that some of those testers were no longer at our institution. So their data maybe was not showing up anymore on some of my reports because they finished elsewhere. But we had tested them, but they didn't finish here, their GED. So I couldn't figure out how those numbers didn't match, which is why I also asked about getting the student names so I could try to see
Yeah.
where they weren't matching.
That's
Yeah, that'll be helpful. We can dig into that and troubleshoot and see if things are working to our expectation.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think what's going to happen, Victoria, is you all know, the credit is given to the facility where the GED is earned.
yeah.
All right. So that's why you're not going to see him as a passer in your report, even though you know you tested him. And this is where it's going to be very helpful when we figure out how to run that test drill down report for you, because whether he finished with you or not, you're still going to be able to see within a certain month range, if you know about when he tested, and we run the drill down report within that time frame, the name will show up there and the test that was taken. So you'll have credit of it. You'll have evidence of the test. But again, you know, like in the public sector, I'm assuming you all are the same way. The facility where he took and passed the last test is where the credit is given for passing.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe at the end of this year, you know, on the June 30th, whenever we're
Yes.
reconciling and double checking all this stuff, because I keep a spreadsheet too of all the names and all the
Yep.
tests. Could
Yep.
I contact you then and we'll do
Absolutely.
the test takers and I'll see if it matches and try to figure it out?
Even as limited as my skills are, you don't have to bother Razine for that. I do know how to run the test drill down report. You just give me your test center ID and the range of months that you want it run for, and I can run it out into an Excel spreadsheet. Yes.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Azim and Debbie.
And I can do the same for any of you. That's what I put in the notes until we get this figured out. And we're going to try to get this figured out very quickly so that you have point person access within your own system to ask somebody to pull that report for you. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. Any other brave souls out there?
And Debbie, I have something.
Okay.
If you can please send me the link for the recording, and I'll go ahead and put it on the SharePoint so that our examiners and GED staff have access to that. So it's available for their view anytime they want to review it. So please send it to me. Thank you. And thank you again, you guys. You guys did great. Thank you.
Well, thank goodness Brent and Azim did great. I felt like I was kind of pulling up the backside today, but that's okay.
we really appreciate your help all the time. You're good partners.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
And call on me if you need anything. Happy to work with you. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
And Azim, I will let you take care of the recording part of it, getting that down, and I'll send it, either you or me can send it to Sarita. Happy to help. Okay?
All right.
That would be great.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hey, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
we got
Alright.
it. We're here.
Okay, I'm looking at the test taker summary page,
Yes.
and it has test takers at 30, completers at 20, and passers at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So passers is less than the completers. So are those two separate numbers? So 20 people completed, and
Completers.
then
Completers include passers. So if you do the math, completers minus passer, that'll show you how many have not passed all 4 exams. Does that make sense?
So can you explain it to everybody, the difference between completers and passers?
Sure.
So that nobody is confused, because
Yep.
with these numbers, everybody, what does that mean, kind of thing?
Okay. Yeah.
So,
So let's say you have completers 30, passers 10. Okay. Who are
mhm,
completers? Completers are, there's a Debbie who took all 4 exams, but unfortunately Debbie did not pass one of the subjects. She completed
mhm,
all 4 battery, but
mhm.
she did not pass one of the subjects. So out of her 30, she's not in the 10 passers.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
And
you are,
then there are passers.
mhm,
Brent, who took all 4 exams and passed all 4 exams. So he's a passer.
mhm,
He's also in a completer count, but he's a passer. So now 30 completers, 10 passers. So
mhm,
30 minus 10 is 20. We have 20 people like Debbie who completed 4 exams, but did not pass 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We don't know, but she did not pass all 4 exams.
okay, okay.
Does that make sense?
So, yeah, so anybody who took all 4 exam attempted, and they are going to be included in completers because they completed the whole battery. Whether they passed it or not, it doesn't matter. But in passers number, it's the ones who passed all 4 exams
Correct.
and they achieved their GED, and they are completers and passers both, everything. So is there a way then we can say how many people, like out of the completers, they took all 4 tests, but there are some others who took only 1 or 2. Where does that count go?
That will be in test. And that's the part of the reporting that Debbie is talking about. You want to
Okay.
get into this, that detail, you need that other level of data or
Okay.
position.
Okay, because we have students at the institutions for a month, probably they took only 1 or 2 tests, so they are not going to be in completers or passers. So we have to have their count too, and that's what some of our examiners were looking for,
Yeah.
like how many tests were taken, no
Yeah.
matter whether they took all 4 or whether they took only 1 or 2, that kind of stuff. Okay, so for that, for the time being, we'll have to reach out to Debbie.
Yep.
To get that information to us. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it.
Okay, I just want to be clear. Completers are only those that took all 4 tests, regardless if they passed or not, correct?
Correct.
And passers, that's just ones that passed a test, whether it was 1 test or all 4 tests. It's just if they passed a test, is that correct? Or is it if they passed all 4?
All 4.
All 4.
So I think in
A
our
passer is a person who credentials. Maybe
There
that
you
makes
go.
it easier.
certificated person, a passer.
Yes,
is a
certificated.
person.
Yes. Yes. Maybe that's a better way to explain it. Our passers are the students who earned a credential. And to do that, you have to pass all 4 tests. So,
Exactly, exactly. And that's why we were asking about the other question, like if they took the test, 1 test or 2 tests,
yeah.
and if they passed it or not, that's a separate report. And for that, we'll have to request Debbie on a case-by-case basis kind of thing.
Right. Because right now, I understand what you're saying. Completers and passers doesn't give you an accurate count of everyone who has tested. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You need that drill down report so you can see all those others in there who haven't taken all 4 tests and who haven't passed, but have been testing. I get it.
Okay, that makes the funnel make a whole lot more sense too. So passers, I'm just going to say those are the ones that have earned their GED.
Correct.
Thank you for your help, everyone.
You know, sometimes we live with this day in and day out, and we forget you know, how easy it is to not understand a language we use every day. So you ask very
Yeah.
good questions. You make us go back and think, oh, we need to explain this a little better here. So it's all good for us too. We learn
Yeah.
more about how we talk about this the next time. So thank you. So. We got it, folks? Going
Very good.
once, going twice. I think that's a wrap. Thank you for
Great.
giving us so much of your time today. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.